guys for joining in. You are watching Teacher Talks with Dr. Christopher Holmes. I'm so excited you guys have joined in today. Our topic tonight is on the focus of achievement. We're talking about achievement. I'll tell you why in just a few minutes. While you're waiting, I'll be back in 2 minutes and 2 seconds. While you're doing that, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Make sure you share this with a friend. I'll be right back. We're going to get into the conversation. It's a threefold conversation in about 30 minutes about achievement. I'm excited and I can't wait to have you be a part of it.
Revolutionize dinner time. With restaurant quality meals. At home cooked prices.
So welcome back. This is Teacher Talks. I am your host, Dr. Christopher Holmes. Now I see people here. I need to know who you are. I want you in the chat. Let me know who you are. Give me your nickname, your full name, however you want to be communicated with. And then let me know where you're from. If you're here in Georgia, if you're in Florida, Alabama, New York, California, if you're overseas, I have people in Canada that watch. So just want to know who I have in the room so I know who's engaging in the conversation tonight. This is going to be a good conversation. It's going to be a quick one as well. But I do want to engage with you all. I will be logging in now so that I can look on the comments in Facebook as well as the comments in LinkedIn, because I like to bring in everybody who's involved to make sure I don't miss a single soul, a single comment, or a single question. So this is for parents, this is for teachers, this is for leaders, this is for anybody who's interested in education. We're going to have a real conversation tonight about the topic on achievement. Now, you may be asking, why are we talking about achievement? Well, we are talking about achievement tonight in honor of my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. We just celebrated our 111th Founders Day on yesterday. And if you don't know anything about Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, we are founded on the premise of achievement, and achievement in every field of human endeavor. So we're going to focus on achievement tonight. But we're going to talk about it from the perspective of education. So I'm waiting for some of you guys to get in the comments, tell me who you are, where you're watching from. And then we're going to dive right into this particular dialogue about achievement. And then as you guys kind of chime in, ask questions, that'll take us a little bit deeper. If you see me looking down, I'm looking down at my phone because I am looking at Facebook comments. That's what I'm doing. So I don't have like a moderator or anything like that. So it's not that fancy, okay? It's not that fancy. So if you are here, first of all, let's say this: Happy New Year to everybody who is watching. The last time I was on, it was pre-New Year's Eve. It was Thursday. I went on last Thursday at 10 o'clock. So it wasn't even 2022 yet. So for those of you that are watching, it is 2022. Happy New Year. I'm excited for you in this new year. I'm excited for everything that's coming your way in this new year, and all the new experiences, all the new growth opportunities, everything that's going to happen. I'm just really excited about you and about what's going to happen for me in this year. Listen, it's been a rough couple of years, right? So we need a great year. And I think this year is going to be the year, although we have not started off well. Let's establish that. We have not started off well, but we can end well. It does not matter how you start, it is about how you finish. Again, it is 9 o'clock here on the East Coast. It's probably 5 o'clock somewhere else. So I hope that you have your coffee cup, your mug, your wine glass, your mule, whatever it is that you want to drink at this time, and that you have. I have my trusty Go Dogs coffee cup. I am drinking tea. I've been having some sinus issues because we've had some crazy weather here in Georgia. It's been like really, really hot, then like really, really cold. That does not agree with my sinuses, so I am dealing with that. So if you see me sipping, I'm drinking this tea, and it's kind of hot, so bear with me. But I hope you guys are in good spirits. I hope you're in good health. Speaking of health, you know what I got to talk about, right? If I talk about health and wellness, then I have to talk about this. And what is the this, you say? This is for my notes if you're asking. What is the this? The this is the painstaking, unforgivable, never-ending, relentless coronavirus. I see I've got some people on here. Shout out to Brother Pless, Dr. Pless. Shout out to Brother Washington Sr. Thank you guys for watching. Get involved in the conversation. But let's jump back into it. Coronavirus is a beast, people. I know several, not people, I know several families that are sitting at home right now with corona. Omicron, to be specific. Omicron is almost crazy, okay? Omicron is almost crazy. It is relentless. I have to say it because I don't want to give it a feminine gender. I don't want to say she because then people will be offended by that. I don't want to say he, people will be offended by that. So I have to say it, they, them, very non-binary, right? This is a non-binary virus. Either way, it's crazy. It is going after people in tremendous numbers. So if you don't have to go anywhere, don't go. If you go, mask up, keep your hands clean. Be aware of your environment. That's all I'm saying, people. I want you guys to stay healthy, especially at the top of the year. I don't want anybody to be sick or anything like that. I am going to jump in the chat here on Facebook because I see people watching. So let's get into the conversation of achievement. Once again, in honor of my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, who is founded on achievement. That is what we're talking about here tonight. So if you are looking on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn, you're going to see I have a set of questions that's going to guide what we talk about here tonight as it relates to achievement. So the first question is, and I'm going to type this in and then I'm going to broadcast it on the actual screen. So as it relates to achievement, how important is it? How important is achievement? You may ask, well, why am I asking that question? One of the reasons I'm asking that question is because achievement is something that we really hang our hats on in public education. We look at student data, we look at their achievement levels, and that's how we rank schools. That's how we identify schools in terms of those that are high performing, those that are low performing. It's all based on student data and achievement data, okay? But the question is, in the grand scheme of things, how important is achievement? That's the first question. That's the first question I want you to answer. That's the first question I want to engage you in the chat. So how important is achievement? Is it overrated? Are we spending too much time focusing on achievement? Should we be focusing on some other things, including achievement or in spite of achievement? But the question is, how important is achievement? And I'm going to let that hang out right there while you guys are thinking, and also while you guys are in the chat. Good shout out to my boy Jamar White. He is not a Kappa, he is a Q, but he is one of my best friends. I love this guy to death. We got a great relationship. We always crack on each other, but he's always so supportive of everything that I do. So I appreciate you, good brother. Shout out to you. Happy New Year, because I have not seen you in the New Year either. If my boy Latif is watching, shout out to my boy Latif as well. He is here in the state of Georgia. He He's a transplant. He doesn't live here anymore, but he is now visiting here from Texas. So shout out to Latif. Hopefully we'll get together in the next couple of days before you hit the airways and get back to Texas, because that's your home, not Georgia. So how important is achievement? I see we've got more people in here. I'm waiting for you to get in the chat. Tell me what you're thinking. And as you provide those comments, I will then respond or have other people respond, because remember, you drive the conversation. If you're watching on LinkedIn, thank you guys for watching. You can go to YouTube and chime in. You can like, subscribe, and share this to everybody, your friends, your family, your teachers, whoever. But achievement. So I will give my perspective. I know you guys are thinking. Some of you guys are just listening, which I need you not just to listen. I need you to be a part of the conversation. But let me just say this. Achievement is very important as it relates to education. That's how we determine if students are getting or retaining the information that they are required to retain from state standards, national standards, and then are able to put that information into practice through application, right? So achievement is important in public education. So I don't want anybody to leave this session tonight, leave this opportunity, leave this encounter with me tonight and say that Dr. Holmes said achievement is not important, because that's not what I said. We base a lot of our procedures and plans to create equity and equality in education based on achievement data. So that a performance data is super, super important to ensure every student across this country is getting fair access to a high quality education and are able to perform on assessments and demonstrate mastery through achievement. Okay, so that's important. We have to have achievement as one of our primary focuses in our schools, across our districts, in our states. Student achievement data is important. How important? I would say it is one of the most important things we should be focused on in schools. There are several things that we do, but the primary responsibility of schools is to educate students to think and to perform at a high level. That will be incorporated into how they deliver and how achievement is measured. So let's not get away from that. Hello to my boy Dexter E. Reynolds, Dr. Dexter E. Reynolds. He's also tuning in and watching. We appreciate you for watching and always providing some great comments, some great questions, and some great insights, because he too is in education, but he's in higher ed. So we get a whole nother level when I talk to him and some of the things that he is able to bring to the table as it relates to this conversation, especially related to achievement, because achievement at higher ed is not measured the same at the K-12 level. So here's the question: why not? Should there be more alignment between achievement in public education K-12 and education level of achievement at higher ed? It's not even measured the same, if measured at all. We don't have these types of tests in higher ed unless we get into some of these pre-professional fields, and we can pull that data. But other than that, there is not a streamlined test across states. They're normally assessment based at the university level, and they measure their own level of achievement. Okay, so that's a different type of conversation, but I think it's a worthwhile conversation to have, because as he would tell you, students are measured at achievement in public education K-12. They get to the higher ed level and they're not prepared. They're not prepared. So we have data to say they have performed, they have excelled, they have achieved, but at the higher level in college and universities, these kids are not coming prepared. They are unprepared or ill prepared to handle the level of thinking and performance that's required for students at the college level. So that's a little bit different. So shout out to you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it, but I appreciate you for logging in for YouTube. So let's go. So is it important? I'm saying yes. How important? I'm saying very important. It should be at the top of the priority list of the things that you consider focusing on in public education, K-12 and higher ed, since we have a higher ed person in here. Jade Ryan is in the room. Thank you so much for watching. This is one of my good friends from college. We are still friends to this day. Tons of fun. I can tell a lot of stories about Jade, but thank you for watching. She's watching on Facebook. All of you guys that are watching on Facebook, make sure you get your butts over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Get over there, get those comments. You can like, you can share, but don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to keep plugging it all night long because I've got people, coming in and coming out. So, Brother Ruben Miller is watching as well. Remember, we are talking about achievement tonight. Why are we talking about achievement tonight? Because my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, just celebrated 111 years of being founded on the premise of achievement. So why not talk about achievement in public education? First question we're dealing with tonight: how important is achievement? And it is uber important. It is super important. It is so important that you should be focusing on achievement in all of your grade levels in public education. It should be the premise, the primary focus of what you're doing when you deliver instruction to ensure that students can perform and achieve, and that data is evident. It is evident, okay? Now, while I'm talking, remember, you can chime in and you can give those comments as freely as you want. Now, here's the next question. What are the levels to achievement, or what are the qualities? I think this is a particular question that I asked of inside the description. What are the qualities of achievement? What are the qualities of achievement? So we know this is important. If you're going to agree with me, you're saying it's important. And you're also saying, if you're agreeing with me, it should be at the top of your priority list to ensure students can achieve. The next question is, what are the qualities of achievement? What does that look like? And let me just give you a little insight into where my mind is going. It's more than a number. Okay? Achievement is more than a number. And this is what I want schools, I want my leaders and my teachers to take away from part of this conversation tonight. When you think about your students achieving, it is more than the number they produce on an assessment. All my Kappa brothers would appreciate this. Achievement is an attitude. Achievement is a personality. Achievement is a behavior. Achievement is a mindset. Okay? So achievement is not just a number that students are able to produce on an assessment. Let's agree on that. Okay? It's not just a number. Achievement is a personality. Achievement is an attitude. Achievement is behavior. Achievement is a mindset. Students that are achievers behave like achievers. They think like achievers, and they also perform like achievers. So we're diving into a little bit of character ed here, right? So don't just hang your hat on your students that are only performing well, but they have bad behavior, right? So you're blowing tests out of the water, but you are also apt to cuss a teacher out. You perform well on assessments and all on your teacher quizzes and things, but you're more than likely to be in about 4 or 5 fights a year. You perform well on student homework and practice, but you're always you're always having an altercation with another student or an adult in the building. You can perform well, but you rarely come to school. You may show up, you may skip, you may not show up. That is an attitude, that's a mindset, that's a belief, that's a behavior, but it's not the behavior of an achiever. These performance on assessments and behaviors, mindsets, attitudes, personalities, all that has to go together. So we're building in that character ed while we're also giving them opportunities to perform and excel at high levels. That's what achievement looks like. That's the quality of achievement. So we cannot be only focused on the one side of it, which is student performance data. They also have to behave like achievers outside of the school day. Remember, get in the chat. I'm looking now. I'm seeing some of you guys are in here. Wow. Brother Reynolds says, absolutely, those things should be aligned. Brother Miller, thank you for watching. He's saying, yo to all the good news. Yo, appreciate you. Dexter says, sure, this may sound like a crazy question, but how are we defining achievement? You missed the first part, Dexter. We've already gone over that, but we are defining achievement basically on those assessments that students perform on that are normally the state assessment. So the milestones here in Georgia, sometimes those national assessments, but those are the ways we are determining if students are achieving, and not just students, if teachers are achieving, and if schools and districts are achieving. There's normally a set of data, singular. So I would love for us to broaden the collection of data that determines achievement a little bit better, a whole lot better. And we'll get a little bit more into when you have a singular set of data, what does that do to the hope, the mindset, the beliefs of teachers, students, and leaders when you know you're looking at a single set of data? Does that impact them a little bit differently? And I'm going to say yes. I'm not going to get into how, but surely I think it does have a big impact. Now, it's crazy because all of my comments aren't coming up. Brother Miller says, isn't it about role modeling achievement too? That's a perfect example. So now let's kind of go back a little bit. So I said it's a mindset, it's a personality, it's an attitude, right? And we're not talking just about students. I'm glad you said that, Brother Miller. The adults, teachers, leaders also have to model achievement for the students and for each other as it relates to accountability. I can't hold you to be high performing, high achieving as an adult and not one, model it myself, and two, hold you to the same level or to the same standard for your students. So that's a great question, or that's a great comment, Brother Miller. It definitely should be modeled in the building, in any organization. Achievement, the mindset, the belief, the mentality, the personality of achievement should be modeled through your actions, not just in a set of data. So you can have high performing teachers that get students to perform at levels through the roof, but they're inconsistent. They're not committed. They don't believe in all their students. They're not fair to all their students. They're only fair to the ones they know can perform. The ones that seem to be motivated to come to school and learn. Other than that, they are not giving this achievement to all their students fairly and adequately. That's not achievement. That's hit or miss. That's inconsistent. You can't be achieving or be considered to have achievement levels if you are inconsistent as an adult or as a student. It doesn't matter. So I'm clumping all that together so you guys get a better understanding of where I'm going with this. I'm not talking just about students. I'm talking about students and adults. Okay? Students and adults. Remember, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, share, and then don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to get those followers up. If I can get to 100 by the end of the month, guys, listen, I'll be probably look real cocky the next time y'all see me. Like, who's cocky over 100 followers? Me. I would be, because this is a conversation that people don't have to be interested in, but they are. They're logging in, they're watching, they're subscribing, they're telling people. So yeah, if I get to 100 followers, for me, 100 followers talking about public education is really like 1,000,000 followers, right? Because this is not a conversation that's sexy. It's not a conversation that's really a part of pop culture, which I'm trying to make it pop culture. Really, we talk about education now every day, between the coronavirus fight, school violence, and equity, racism in schools. Like, school conversations about public education right now, it's sexy. It's a sexy conversation. Let's go back to the chat. Dexter says, if I didn't have to give grades, I wouldn't. He goes on to say, mastering exams and quizzes is a skill set. Personal growth is my goal for students. So you're trying to make me go a little bit further into my conversation, but I definitely agree with you. We have to think differently about achievement, because personal growth, as we talk about students and how they perform on assessments, needs to be celebrated. And I'll talk about celebrations. That's one of my latter questions. But, we got to look at students that are growing, because it may not meet the mark of a particular number that identifies achievement. But did that student achieve? Yes, he did, or yes, she did. They grew. They have gained a massive amount of information. And sometimes, depending on where these kids are coming from, they're coming from like really, really low levels. And then they grow to tremendous heights. And I don't think we really recognize students that do that enough. We have teachers that from maybe the beginning of their career or the beginning of a new grade level or new content, their scores are not that great, they're kind of mediocre. And then over time, those scores skyrocket. That's growth. That is achievement. That is achievement. It may not be marked or designated as achievement because of a number that's established or set, but it is achievement. And I think those are things that we need to make sure that we are highlighting, we are celebrating, because growth is a quality. Thank you, Brother Reynolds, for that. Growth is a quality of achievement. Would you agree or would you not agree? I'm asking you, so put it in the chat, give you a chance to kind of jump in here. You guys are doing a great job of being active tonight as well, so I appreciate you. But would you say that growth is a quality of achievement? And if so, do we do a great enough job? I'm not even say good enough. Do we do a great enough job of celebrating or recognizing student growth or adult growth, leader growth? A school can grow, right? You can grow from having 100 fights a year to 2. That is growth. You have achieved in that particular area. So I would say that is something that needs to be honored, recognized, and valued. And at some point, and in some way, also celebrated. That's just kind of where I'm thinking about this. Now I normally have Catherine in here. Catherine, I don't know if you're logged in, but she's normally always in here chiming in. So if you're here, Catherine, I need you to give me some of that great feedback that you always give me as well. Now, while you're thinking about that, so here's a question. I'm going to put it in the chat because I want you to respond to this. And then I'm going to go to the next question. Is growth a quality of achievement? All right, there it is. Is growth a quality of achievement? You're not seeing the actual questions pop up in the chat on Facebook, but you can see them on the screen. That is why I am highlighting the questions there, and then you guys can jump right in and provide whatever comment or feedback or questions you may have just based on the question. So we talked about how it's being measured. It is typically an assessment, but what I want to now talk about is at the school level, we need to have multiple ways of measuring achievement. Since we've already talked about those qualities, you got to have different ways of measuring achievement. If we're talking about achievement being a mindset, a behavior, a mentality, a belief system, it's not just a number on an assessment. So how are you measuring it? And again, if you have a decrease in physical altercations in your building, if you if you have a decreased COVID, I don't have it. Just joking, y'all. I don't have COVID. I have a sinus thing. It's not COVID. Just jokes here, people. Shout out to everybody that's got COVID. I need you guys to get better, like really, really quickly. But Ruben says most definitely growth is a quality of achievement. I agree. It most definitely is. But we need to find better ways to measure achievement that are non-traditional. I support schools and being adventurous and taking risks. And I think one of the ways that you can be non-traditional or alternative is finding ways to measure achievement for your students beyond intellectually, right? We have some students that will never perform well on a test. It's just not their thing, right? They're not great test takers. They may have anxiety, whatever the case may be. But those students can still achieve, and you've got to find a way to measure that achievement, and then you got to find a way to also celebrate it. So that is my encouragement to you. It's just a charge, right? I'm charging you to find a way to do it. Be creative. Bring in your collective team, including teachers and students, and find ways that students and teachers feel like, we could really look at achievement from the angle of this. And it's not just assessment. It could be their growth, it could be their performance, it could be their service in the school as a humanitarian level. Like there's so many ways we can measure student achievement besides just the number they receive on an assessment. So I encourage you to do that. Find ways to do it. Be creative. Build a team of teachers and students and leaders collectively. They need to come together to come up with these ideas. It should not be done in isolation just with the adults because it's not for you. And then leaders, I encourage you, find ways to celebrate or find ways to honor your teachers for achievement besides just the way their students are performing on assessment. It goes both ways. And then at the district level, find ways to honor your leaders. And at the state level, find different ways to honor your public school districts. People are working really, really hard. My heart goes out to everybody right now. COVID has really done a job. And one of the reasons I'm talking about achievement as well tonight, we still have massive numbers of schools that are out of school this first week back, right? They're virtual. Some of these schools have not been face-to-face this whole academic year. They've been doing a hybrid thing. There's some students have decided to go virtual all year by themselves, and they're not face-to-face. More districts have created virtual schools. Like this has really changed how we educate students. But the question is, how is that going to translate into student performance data? We don't know. We have no clue how students are going to perform on state assessments. That's even if they have state assessments this year across the nation. And now we're looking at pockets of data, right? Because everybody won't produce data. It'll be certain states, certain districts. How we're measuring achievement is going to have to change because that number is going to be skewed. It's not going to be a real number because it won't include the mass data sets or data points we normally get across the nation. So I'm just saying now is a time more than ever to be creative, right? To think differently, to think outside the box, to think about who your students are, what they bring to the table, and how you want to celebrate them and honor them for everything that they are besides a test number. That is my charge for you tonight, to think about it that way. Brother Miller says, it sounds like a way of establishing success criteria. Most definitely, which is one of the things we don't have in schools. We don't measure success that way. Like I said, we measure success very singularly. Very singularly. It's not a broad perspective of achievement or success. And so I think this is a great time to step out for all of our schools. We look at federal funding, the way money has been poured in, the way we teach now, the way students learn now. I think we are now at the cusp. We're ready for some non-traditional perspectives on success as well as achievement. So let's go to the next question, and then I'm going to let you guys go. And I'm going to let you guys have back the rest of your night, and then I'll see you guys next Thursday, 9 o'clock. Remember, if you're not on YouTube, get over on YouTube, Fully Engaged Education. That's the channel. Go ahead, like, share, comment when I'm here on live if you're watching on YouTube, and then subscribe. That's the most important thing to me, that you subscribe. And I'm going to be going back and watching. Everybody's watching me right now. If you don't go to YouTube, if I go through my subscriber list, if I don't see you subscribe to my channel, I am going to harass you all next week. 5 days in a row, I will be harassing you, especially if I have your number or your text or your number. I'm going to call you. I'm going to text message you. If you're on Facebook, I'm going to send you direct messages every day for 5 days to say, why didn't you subscribe to my channel? Especially if I know you. If I don't know you, I still may harass you because I've got some time, right? So how should we celebrate achievement? That's the question. How should we celebrate achievement? So this is despite how you define it. This is despite how you categorize it or the qualities of it. The question now simply is, when achievement is established, when it is reached, when it is produced, how should we celebrate it? And I'm talking at the school level. How do you celebrate achievement? What do you think a student would say is acceptable when they achieve? What do they want? And don't think about what you got when you were in school. Okay, don't think 1950s. Don't think in the 70s when they gave out lollipops. Okay, I don't think kids. No, trust me, they'll take the candy. Don't get me wrong. They will take your candy and eat it. But is that really how they want to be celebrated for achievement? And the it is achievement, guys. The it is achievement. So how should we celebrate achievement? That's the question. And I'm going back. I'm looking on Facebook. Brother Miller says that's a challenge. Data results gets funding. It does. And it's kind of going back to what we talked about. Now, for certain schools, depending on how your funding is coming in, the funding comes in regardless. It's not based on how well your students perform. So in terms of products and proficiency and education, it doesn't work quite the same way. The funding, here's the thing, and I've had this conversation before. In public education, the funding is not directly attached, or the majority of your funding is not attached to achievement. The majority of your funding is attached to simply having a student in your building. The fact that a body is there, the body brings in the money. Okay? They don't have to achieve. They don't have to have perfect attendance. They don't have to be high performing. They don't have to be college bound, college ready. They don't have to be preparing to go in the military. If they show up, if you got 600 kids in your school, you're going to get funding for 600 students, federal, state, and local. If you got students in poverty, you're going to get some more money, right? Now, if you got some high-performing students, you may get some additional funding, but that does not make up the gist of where your money is coming from. The gist of your money is the fact that you have a student in your building, period, point blank. So you may ask, how do charter schools work? Charter schools work because they get the money that public schools would get. They get that same money for that same kid, and that's how they're operating. Okay, so these public charters, the kids aren't paying to go. The money that they're receiving to go to public school, that same money is transportable to a charter school. Okay. Some of that money is transportable to a private school too. Side note. That's an FYI. Some kids that are going to private school, they're going to private schools because of the money that they get from these different entities that's paying for their private school tuition. And it's perfectly legal. It's perfectly legal. I've seen it done many times. So just want to let you know. So Brother Miller comes back. He says, ask students how they would like to be celebrated. If they are successful, give them options. Students and adults like to be recognized in different ways. It may be non-monetary. Most definitely. Like, granted, we can't give you dollars, right? We can't give you, public schools can't put cash in your hand, but we can award you different things to recognize you. We can give you gift cards. We can feed you. We can throw, different ceremonies. We can have events. You can have massage days for teachers. You can have a massage therapist come in and during their planning period, give them massages, right? There's several ways to do it. Most people just want to know that it included some thought. It wasn't just something that was randomly picked and that you didn't even consider them, right? That you considered them and what they wanted or desired, and then you blessed them with this gift or with this recognition or with this celebration. So again, bring the people that will be celebrated to the table. Make space for them to be celebrated. Make space for them to be celebrated, because achievement, we've already established this, should be celebrated. So let's kind of go back. What is achievement? Achievement is somebody performing at a personal high level. It could be a collective organization performing at an established or goal set level. But growth is a quality of achievement. It's just not a one shot, one number type thing in education. When students grow and develop and create new opportunities and have new skills and new thoughts and new processes and are able to apply new information, that is achievement, and it should be recognized and honored, because that is a quality of achievement. We went back and we said achievement is a belief, it's a mindset, it's a personality, it's a behavior. Those that are achievers operate like achievers. They hang around other achievers. They get mentored by an achiever. They look up to an achiever. They're always connected to achievers. It's a mindset, it's a personality, it's a belief, it's a behavior. We have to look at mindset of achievement of all of our students and adults, and we need to celebrate them for their achievement. Again, not just on the test. It could be character, it could be service, it could be so many different things that we want to recognize people for. But we've already said, but we do want to celebrate people for their achievement. And again, happy 111th Founders Day to all the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. We honor and revere our founders for creating this wonderful fraternity and the setting up an opportunity for us to continue to achieve and continue to make this fraternity proud. I stand firmly as a representative of the fraternity, and doing things like this. I don't represent myself. I also represent my family. I represent my culture. I represent my race. I represent my gender as a Black male, but I also represent my fraternity very proudly. And I represent all members of the Divine Nine, because we are out here doing great work, trying to make a difference. And this live webcast is just my little way of freely providing an opportunity to share information, grant access to education across this country, and enlighten people to make better and informed decisions as it relates to their life as well as their students' lives. So for teachers, leaders, parents, this is for everybody. So I encourage you to have other people join in, log in. If you're on YouTube, go back. I have like over 50 videos I've already done. So there's a lot of content there that you can go back and watch, get a lot of great information. I have some wonderful guests that I have on this web series, this webcast, that, I mean, they drop gems, they drop a lot of great nuggets, and they do it for free. So this is at no charge to anybody. I will tell you, coming up probably next month, I will be adding a Cash App link that I will have here. And my goal now is to take this webcast and my contract or my consulting company to another level. One of my goals has always been to provide scholarships to deserving students, not just those that are high performing, but those that display an achievement mentality on all levels. And so I'm going to be asking you guys, if you want to donate to this endeavor. There's going to be a nonprofit, our 501c3 for you as well. So it'd be tax deductible. It'll be a tax write-off for you. But I want to raise about $10,000 this year, and I want to award $1,000 scholarships to 10 deserving students across the nation, out of the name of Fully Engaged Education and Teacher Talks, to support them in achieving their higher advanced degree goals, to go to college and to receive a degree. One of the reasons many students don't go is, one, they don't have the access, two, they don't have the funding. Well, I want to eliminate excuses. I want to provide the funding. I want to provide the resources and send these kids to school. I want to send them to school. And so if you could help me out when that time comes. Also, if you want to buy merchandise, you can go to my website. My website is also in the description. I have tons of merch there. I have hoodies, I have sweatshirts, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts. I will be rocking some of those coming up because the merch looks really good, y'all. I buy my own merch. So if you like it, go and get it. It's all education merch, but some of the sayings, some of the quotes, whatever, they could cross all types of opportunities, all across different fields. not just education. So go check out the merch. Anytime you buy merch, that merch goes also providing scholarships for students as well. So I am out here doing this thing for free. I'm somewhat hustling. This is not my gig, but if I can find a way to support students being successful, that is what I want to do. So if you guys have no more questions, let me take one more glance at YouTube and one more glance at Facebook to make sure you guys don't have any final questions. If you don't have any final comments for me. And thank you, Brother Sherelle, always supportive. He's also been a guest on this show. So thank you so much, Noob. Yo to you, happy J5. Sorry I missed you yesterday. We'll have to connect at another time to celebrate both your birthday and J5 simultaneously. That could be dangerous. Could be dangerous, but we'll figure it out. Brother Reynolds says, yes. Yes, I appreciate you, brother. And so remember, go buy the merch. I will be having the Cash App up next month. We are giving away scholarships, people. We've got to get our kids in school, and we've got to get them there. So, and the only way to get them there for a lot of them is to give them the financial resources. We're just trying to give out hope here, right? I'm just giving out the hope pill. And so I want you to be a part of my treatment here. It's not a cure. It's just a treatment. I had this conversation last time with somebody. Many of us fail in life because we're trying to find cures. Stop trying to find the cure and just give a treatment. The treatment sometimes is all you need because it can get people to where they need to be. Sometimes there is no cure. The treatment is all you have. So I'm encouraging you to be a treatment. Don't try to be the cure. We don't need a cure. There's only one cure for the world today. And everybody who is of faith knows what that cure is. So just be a treatment. I think that's your call. That's your responsibility. That's your purpose, to be a treatment. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I am wrapping up Teacher Talks tonight. Remember, get over there to YouTube, subscribe to that channel, and then share it with somebody. I know you know a teacher somewhere, you know a parent somebody somewhere that needs to be connected to me. Again, I do provide free advocacy for parents. If you got an issue with your child or your grandchild in school and you think they have been treated fairly, or you just want somebody to come in and support you in a meeting, reach out to me. I'll do that for free. I want to make sure that they're treated fairly and they get what they need in terms of services. Okay. So again, thank you guys so much. Again, happy Founders Day to all the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Yo to the good noobs. I love you guys. I'll see you guys next Thursday, 9 o'clock. Dr. Christopher Holmes here signing out. Until I see you again, peace and blessings, guys. Be safe and stay out of those corona streets.